Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Vinyl Addict, and my name's Chili, and today I want to talk about supergroups and give you a supergroup pick at the end of this video. And I was having this discussion with my brother regarding what is a supergroup exactly, and so my definition of a supergroup dates back to this record right here, the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus. And in this compilation is a bunch of different groups, and one group being the Dirty Mac, and that is comprised of John Lennon on vocals and rhythm guitar, Keith Richards on bass, Eric Clapton at the time from Cream, and Mitch Mitchell on drums. Now, each individual member was put together by Lennon. He was calling himself Winston Leg Thigh, and they were covering a Beatles song. So it's a supergroup. I don't know if you can see this, but there they are right there. So hence the supergroup, right? Everyone in that group is famous and coming from a well-established band. And so you have other supergroups like the Traveling Wilburys, which I feel is a very big ass supergroup. You got Bob Dylan and Tom Petty from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. You got Jeff Lynne from ELO, George Harrison from the Beatles, and Roy Orbison. That's a supergroup. Now, there's, what me and my brother were discussing is that he thinks that if a band gets together, group members get together, that they have to be, in order to be a supergroup, they just have to be playing already in big places. It's not as far as popularity or fame is concerned, but if they already playing big arenas, or the Garden was the example, they are a supergroup. Even if, like, say, Mike Campbell from Tom Petty's band and the singer from Crowded House joined Fleetwood Mac, that's a supergroup. Now, I, on the other hand, don't look at it that way. I feel it's people getting together from different groups and being called something else. And, like Oysterhead is, Trey from Fish, Stuart Copeland from the Police, and, Primus bass player Les Claypool, and they all joined forces. Not just joining a band, because I guess what started this was Van Halen. And so you got Sammy Hagar joining Van Halen, and that's a supergroup because he's from Montrose and he has a successful solo career. But I feel like they're not a supergroup in that sense, is because they're coming up with original stuff, but they're still playing David Lee Roth material. He's just joining the band, just like Gary Cherone joined Van Halen as well. Now, that would go for the same with Black Sabbath, right? Dio from Rainbow joins Sabbath, and replaces Ozzy. And yes, he's coming from a great big band with Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. But he's really joining an outfit. It's not that they're combining like with Iommi and say, let's start something new. So that goes to the name change. So and that brings me to my pick, which I say is a supergroup, and that's Audioslave. Because you got Chris Cornell from Soundgarden, and you got, Brad, Tim, and Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, they come together and they form their own band. They write their own material and they are a supergroup, you know. Now, they're not as individual members coming from different, you know, outfits like Chicken Foot. I mean, that's a supergroup. That's Sammy Hagar again from Montrose, Van Halen, Michael Anthony from Van Halen, Joe Satriani, and Chad Smith. That's a supergroup. But he was stating that, you know, this is not a supergroup, and I go, no, this is a, to me, I feel this is a supergroup. You know, these guys together. And so with back to Black Sabbath, when they were called, I mean, Heaven and Hell, by default, I guess they become their own entity. They're not playing any Sabbath material. They are a supergroup now. I guess they just default as a supergroup because, I mean, I always felt they were Sabbath anyway, but because of the whole, you know, name change, because of Sharon, of course, you know, we got a different band and they're just playing the Dio material. So, and it's a supergroup. It's Dio from his solo act, you know, Dio, his Dio band, and Rainbow, and you know, and it's just no Ozzy material. It's just Heaven and Hell now. So with that said, Audio Slave to me is a great supergroup. And I mean, the songs that they put together, I wasn't really much of a fan as far as like Rage Against the Machine. I did like what they were doing musically. I didn't care much for a lot of the lyrical content. It didn't, you know, it wasn't material that I cared about. You know, it was just, you know, the stuff that Zach was talking about was like, it's just, I think their music was powerful, but I guess the only thing that really hit me with what he was saying was "fuck you, I won't do what you tell me," and you know, I'm killing the name. But other than that, it was just like the whole rap thing, the way his style was. I guess it went well with the music, but I didn't really care for it as far as what he was saying. But I think they were powerful. Tom Morello, I think he's a, you know, very innovative guitarist. He approached the guitar in a totally different manner, coming from the realm of hip hop, and you know, and turning his guitar into a turntable, you know, and playing it that way with that kind of mindset. That was really cool. And so I thought when he got together with Chris Cornell, and they made, you know, big arena rock, you know, Chris said he wasn't going to do anything that was overtly political or anything like that. You know, they kind of put their own catalogs behind them. Like for the first couple of albums, you know, they were just doing their own stuff. And then I think later on they played live, you know, some Soundgarden stuff. I know they did Loud Love, and they did some Rage Against the Machine songs, you know. But they were just pretty much together, making their own material, which was powerful. I mean, like a Stone was awesome. That's one of my favorite songs on here. But Kochi, Show Me How to Live. Another favorite of mine is Shadows in the Sun. You know, it's the whole drop D kind of stuff that they were doing, and it was just so heavy. And I thought they were just like a perfect fit. That was Audio Slave. And then there was, of course, other bands like Velvet Revolver and you know, that come together. But I mean, I guess you know, there's bands that were like The Firm and Bad Company, which are considered super groups. is it 2 or more people that are, you know, world renowned, and that makes a group a supergroup? Because, you know, going back to the whole Van Halen thing, you got like David Lee Roth's band when it came out. You know, you had Steve Vai, you know, who played with Frank Zappa. You had Billy Sheehan, that was in Talus. But I mean, they weren't a really big band. Talus wasn't really well known in that sense, but maybe in the hard rock community, yes. But yes, because he was playing arenas, David Lee Roth was playing arenas. That was my brother's argument, like, okay, they're a supergroup. And I was like, okay, well, I think some of these members became bigger after being in David Lee Roth's band and became household names. You know, so, I mean, you look at the Blizzard of Oz band, the original one with Lee Kerslake from Uriah Heep on drums, and you got Bob Daisley from Rainbow, and, you know, other bands that he's played in, and then you had Ozzy, of course, from Sabbath, and Randy Rhoads, who was in Quiet Riot, but wasn't, you know, that wasn't a band that was like a household name at the time, but he became, you know, the Blizzard of Oz band became big as a result of getting together, and Randy Rhoads became, you know, more of a superstar, you know, in the realm of guitar. But coming together at first, no. But, you know, of course, later on, it would be a supergroup. I mean, looking at those members, but that's looking at it from the past tense. So there's that issue, you know. So, I mean, it goes on. I mean, like, there's another thing that we were talking about was, like, because Temple of the Dog, you know, is that a supergroup? Because at that time, Soundgarden members, Matt Cameron and Chris Cornell, were, you know, pretty big and well known, but the guys from the Pearl Jam guys weren't, you know, because they weren't Pearl Jam yet. They were, you know, in the process of making it, but they were from Mother Love Bone, you know. So that's what those members were at the time, Jeff Emmett and Stone Gossard, and then, you know, he had Eddie Vedder on Hunger Strikes. But, you know, yes, looking at those members now, they are a supergroup, but at the time, no, they weren't. I don't feel they were a supergroup at that time. Like Mad Season, I guess that would be considered a supergroup because you already had Alice in Chains, and you had Pearl Jam, and they, you know, well-established, famous bands, famous members getting together, you know. So that's my video for today, you know, on supergroups. I kind of want to get together and do a top 10 list of vinyls of supergroups, you know. But this is the one that I'm my pick for a supergroup to go and listen to. This is a great album from front to back, track by track. It just kicks ass. And you know, that's all I have today. Like, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys on the next video.